You ever like worry like when you press like the go live button in whatever program you're using, like it's just gonna blow up your computer?
Yeah, I mean, because that's how it was with my old one. 'Cause my old computer was garbage.
Now I know we've already started, but I'm gonna start this on a quick unstarted podcast tangent. Senores, what is the state of Payday 2 right now? Update YouTube
Uh,
for us.
uh, I'm not playing it currently. It's still getting DLC, but I'm not playing it right now because it takes up 80 gigs, and my computer.
Oh my
Yeah, no,
god.
this game is pathetic. Yeah, this
God.
game takes up 80 gigs, and my computer can't handle that. Like, I need that. It was just too much space for my
God damn.
limited amount of space on my computer right now.
That is horrifying. But you know what else is horrifying? Starting this podcast. How's it going,
Yeah.
everybody? And welcome to Shin Megami Tensei Network, link 276. I'm your host, Spencer Presley. And guess what, folks? They did it. They rubbed my dirty face in it and they said, "Nuh-uh, Spencer. Did you think you could make 1 week of this podcast without talking about Persona 5, 4, or 3? Well, Nintendo and Atlus, they did it. They came together and they announced Persona is coming to Switch. Even though I looked at my Atlus shelf and it's empty. I forgot because I'm moving. Even though there are many Atlus games already on the Switch. So I invited number one Switch expert. I don't know. Senores, would you say, are you a Switch expert or a Switch simp? Which are you more of?
I'm an enjoyer of both. I don't have an OLED yet though, so I don't know if I can be an
That, you know what?
expert.
I don't either. I love my handheld, my handy dandy like red Switch, like the Mario like all red one, that came out around 3D World. Like I still got that.
Mm,
Like that's a solid piece of tech. Like the OLED's nice. Obviously, like if you got the
mm,
OLED, no one's gonna like dog you on it, but it was such a lateral upgrade. It's not like a PS4 Pro, where like if you didn't have a PS4 Pro, it was like, yeah, dude, you're missing out. But
mm-hmm.
in case it's been a while, because I think it's been, I'm pretty sure Danganronpa was not out on the Switch by the time you were last on this show. So,
Maybe.
Senorish,
I forget.
how are you? Who are you? And how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. I'm having I'm having a good time. Three Hopes is everything I've ever wanted, so I'm happy.
So,
I don't know much else to say.
well, I mean, obviously, yes, Fire Emblem Three Hopes. Everyone check it out on the Nintendo
Yep.
Switch. There is a demo, so there's literally no excuse. Speaking of Nintendo, there was a Nintendo Mini, but I feel like there should have been asterisks next to that. That didn't feel like a mini. That just felt like a full-on ass direct.
Yeah.
But we are going to be here to talk about that direct, the news from that direct of Persona coming to Switch, and I'm sure I will have opinions. Chat will have opinions. Chat, if you have any questions, if you're watching this live on YouTube on the Spencer channel, feel free to chat either me or Seniors any questions you may or may not have about Persona, Soul Hackers, just about whatever. Three Hopes questions, very welcomed.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the direct was a interesting thing. I watched it with you and the lovely birthday boys Boysiak. That's what I'm gonna call him for
Yep.
the next 6 hours. And I think we can all agree it was a good show, and it was an interesting choice that literally the one last thing final announcement was
Mm-hmm.
they showed the Xbox reveal trailer for Persona 5, 4, and 3 in reverse. So Xbox
Yeah.
revealed P3 Portable, P4 Golden, and then P5R last. And then Nintendo said, nah, dog, we're going to take that exact same footage and then put it on Switch and then play it in reverse and then hope no one
Yeah.
notices.
Yeah.
So, first off, I just kind of want to ask you, how did you feel about, like, what was your initial reaction? Because we streamed it live on your Twitch channel, but like,
Yeah.
how did you feel like in the moment of that trailer? Like, what was your energy?
I was super excited. I will admit, I wasn't as hyped as I could have been because I kind of knew it was gonna happen.
Really? How
One,
come?
I just feel like it kind of had to because I'm like, Atlas is dumb. I don't know if they're that dumb to not put it on Switch.
It
So there
always
was,
felt like a matter of when, not if.
yeah. So there was that element to it. There was also the other element of it, which is that it leaked and someone added me on Twitter. So
Yo,
I kind
dude.
of
So,
knew.
so is that the one you and Ozzy got like linked on? Like the one they
Yeah, it was really funny. Adam told me like, yeah, don't look at Twitter, because yeah, someone added us. But because
challenge level impossible.
yeah, challenge failed because my if I'm like not doing something and I'm sitting at my computer, my default is to usually just go to Twitter, especially if I'm talking to someone.
Hmm.
And what ends up happening there is by default on impulse, I'm like, oh, I have 5 notifications. What are those? And yeah, so that's what happened to me,
So
which was kind of a bummer,
even if you
but yeah.
didn't have it spoiled for you, because I didn't, so I actually was
Hmm.
surprised when I saw it live.
Hmm.
But for other reasons, I'll kind of get into. Like, obviously, it's all good news. There's no
Yeah.
like negative from today's announcement. So like the overall news of Persona 5, 4, and 3 are all coming to Switch now. So like strap your seatbelts in, everybody, because the thumbnail music for this episode, just including all the systems it's on, is absolutely fucking insane. Persona
Yeah.
5, 4, and 3 are all coming to Game Pass for PC, Game Pass for Xbox, Xbox One, Series S, Series X, PC with Steam, Windows, PS5, PS4, and Switch, which is almost
Yeah.
10 different like SKUs and stuff they have to all work on, which is
Yeah.
absolutely insane. So like it's great that this is happening. I think there's just like
Hmm.
different kind of levels to dissect with it, which is why I kind of wanted to get here because I was tempted to do like a town hall thing and getting everybody's opinions, and I definitely still want to hear what you all think in chat or like after the show's
Hmm.
live. But I think it's such a nuanced kind of thing of like that's gonna. I could easily see that turning into like a 4 hour long discussion, and I still have a apartment that I have to pack up. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can kind of have a truncated version of that because I think you're definitely way more on the yay yay yay, and I'm on the
Yeah.
yay with a lot of asterisks next to my reaction to it because like
Hmm.
for me, I hated everything about how it was shown off and included, even though I
Uh-huh.
loved that the news happened.
Yeah.
So, like for me, I didn't think it was good to have it as the final thing. I was in the camp of this is and even still after the fact, like this is an Xbox thing of announcement that then obviously trickled to other consoles. This getting
Hmm.
put out 2 weeks later on a Nintendo Direct as a final thing with no new info, no new footage, no anything exclusive. Fucking at least Nier Automata gave you some costumes. Like there is
Hmm.
nothing gonna be unique about this version. It's just going to be Persona on Switch, which is all it needs to be. But
Yeah.
I think it was just one of those things of like I made this comparison to E3 games in the past, like when you would see Call of Duty or Battlefield or Assassin's Creed at the PlayStation show, and then the Ubisoft conference, and then the PC Gamer conference, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, stop showing me the same game. Like you're not gonna show me anything new. You're just gonna tell me it's coming to other consoles. So it's like at this point, obviously they can't do anything else. It's not coming to Stadia, thank God. So it's at least that thing of like I'm glad all the news is out. I hate how long it took for it to come out. Cuz remember how much people were bitching on Twitter? I know, rare. But like you remember how mad people
Hmm.
were that we had to wait 2 days to get it officially coming to Steam and PlayStation.
Uh-huh.
And so now to stretch that out for like, because like also let's be real, all the images they've shown clearly were just always edited with something taken out. Because like I remember when they're
Yeah.
like Twitter, like their Twitter head like profile is so weird of like it's all three of
Hmm.
those games and then just one giant black space. And then when it was only Xbox and PC, like did you notice they never actually updated it for only including PlayStation and Steam? They only did two, the one today with everything, and then the one after the
Hmm.
Xbox conference.
Yeah, I don't know if I noticed that, but that is funny.
So it's a weird thing of like I'm super excited this news is here. So like I cannot stress that enough. I am
Hmm.
so glad this news is official because also really for modern Persona fans, this is all everyone's wanted in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. And now you can play anywhere you want, which is always a good news. Like more options the better. And I'll pull up the poll to see where it's at now, but my favorite kind of takeaway from today has been now it's not like everyone only wants to play it on Switch. There are still people who want to play it on PS5. There are still people who
Yeah.
want to play it on Xbox because of Game Pass or PC and switch for the portability. So like I think we're kind of in like a best case scenario now of like now no matter who you are, like, I think actually Gabmew put a really great tweet out. If you wanted to play Persona, what is your excuse not to at this point?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because like
Well,
before, obviously, if you don't have PlayStation, you're gonna have to jump through some hoops or learn to like Ultimax or bust out old hardware. And obviously, I'm someone who's been very privileged in my life enough to jump around other console platforms and play things out. But I think that's such a changed mentality. Like, I don't think like we're in a world anymore now where unless it's a
mm,
Nintendo property or like a first party Sony or Xbox property. Like we're not in a world where big third party goes system exclusive and people aren't more mad than excited, you know?
mm-hmm.
Are there any examples of series that you're like, wow, that's weird that that used to be exclusive or isn't anymore? Or like in the opposite case of like Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy
Mm-hmm.
goes everywhere, but then think about it like this: Final Fantasy VII remake, that's only PlayStation. Or if you look at 16, that's only PlayStation.
Um, I'm not too sure because like I don't know. I guess I'm just like I don't know, I guess for me, I'm just kind of like used to just I don't know. I just kind of like take whatever in stride for me because like I have access to most video games at this point because like I don't have a PS5 yet, but I have a PS4, and a lot of PS5 games still get put on PS4, so I still get some of that stuff. I have a good computer and I have a Switch, and Xbox does not have an exclusive game, so I kind of have everything. So I don't know. I guess like I don't most of it doesn't affect me personally, really.
So yeah, an Xbox I can't really think because you already have your PC. I think Xbox is
Yeah.
that market where like I love my Xbox because I hate playing on PC. So that way I can
Hmm.
play all of those games still. Um,
Hmm.
but PlayStation 5, yeah, I can't think of anything that you yourself are probably missing out on that like you might super like. Maybe Ghostwire Tokyo, but I'm not sure if that'd be up your bag necessarily. But like Miles Morales, like I'm assuming, are you still waiting on that, or did you just end up playing it on PS4?
I still haven't gotten it. And
That's what I would
just
still wait for, just cause. Although I'll say this, cause you did play PS4 Spider-Man, right?
yeah.
Let's be honest. If like assuming nothing goes wrong, Spider-Man 2 comes out next year. That's PS5
Hmm.
only. That's probably gonna make you get like, oh my god, I gotta sell my kidney to get a PS5, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Because like for me with Miles Morales at this point, like I like playing on PS5 would be great. At this point, I might get it on PC because it's still come to that, I believe. So
Well, Spider-Man 2 will not launch on PC. Spider-Man
well, I
2.
know two isn't. I'm just saying Morales.
Oh, I'm gonna be real, dude. Unless like I don't know what your PC is. Like I don't know like if you could do like the big shit, but like that game
Hmm.
with ray tracing really pops. So like I don't know how like strong your card is for it.
Hmm.
But
Um.
yeah, that's a big one of like I'm not sure like if you have a beefy PC, yeah, like I'm sure that PC port will be great.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what else. You know, I got a quick question before we kind of keep going on in the I did have a question by Cherry Papa Ninja. Which route did we pick for our first playthrough of Three Hopes? I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't know a single person who's beaten Three Hopes yet who wasn't reviewing the game already, just because the game
Hmm.
is very long, all three routes.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was your route first so far, and how are you liking it?
I'm a Golden Deer enjoyer. Because I'm bisexual, so I pick Golden Deer. Uh,
Are there like is there like a thing of if I tell you the house I picked, you can tell my like sexuality probably?
um, I'm not well, because like the way I see it, bisexual people pick Golden Deer, lesbians pick Black Eagles, and everyone else picks Blue Lions.
I'm gonna be real, dude. I mean, I like all the different casts and stuff. I went Black Eagle mostly because I like the color red. I mean, I
Hmm.
also liked all the character designs, and that's like what I had picked in Three Houses. But I think all of them have pretty solid rosters and stuff, and I didn't see like one that was like, yeah, this looks like the dumb team, which is always like a hard thing to probably strike for it. So that's funny that I ended up on the lesbian team because like I don't think there's anyone on like Black Eagles. Oh, it's probably the lesbian team because yeah, isn't like Dorothea or whatever like not attracted to guys?
Dorothea is bi, but like she's very openly also attracted to women,
Got
and
you.
Edelgard is extremely gay. So at
True.
least if you pick Femlith, but
Okay,
yeah.
I'm male on both, and I will
Hmm.
say I was like oh yeah, we didn't ask this. So did you go male or so you went female Shez? Did you go male or female Byleth?
I did female Byleth as well.
I almost kind of regret. I'm almost like because I went male on both for both games. I almost am like
Hmm.
I kind of would have liked if I had female Byleth hunting my male Shez just to be like this lady killer like assassin almost.
Because I don't know how far you've gotten in the game.
I'm in chapter
Uh,
5 right now, so I'm still very
okay.
very early on.
Because in a few chapters, there's a cutscene. It's not like the game is better or worse, regardless. But there is a cutscene that made me realize I'm like, oh, this is why Femlith is on the box art. I think there's a reason why she's pushed as the quote unquote canon option, and it's not just because she's popular. And I think it's really funny.
I don't know. I mean, I
But you'll get
probably
to that.
Fem Byleth, and I don't mean this with any disrespect. I've always felt the only reason Fem Byleth is more popular is because she can wear a bikini.
That's part of it, yeah.
Like I've never seen anyone be like, "Oh, male Byleth is bad because blah 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 this reason." But like obviously, yeah, like it's very much to each your own. But yeah, like per capita, the guys do not love male Byleth as much as the world loves like female Byleth. So it's an
Yeah.
interesting kind of like strike there. But I will say, that is an interesting point with the box art because let me pull it up here. Literally, all my Switch games are boxed up, so I can't actually pull it up. But I have a picture of
Hmm.
it when I picked it up of Shaka Khan. Wow, I take. You ever like just scroll through your phone pictures and go, I take a lot of stupid photos. You know, here's the reason why. Because the cover is literally male Byleth, female. Sorry, male Shez, female Byleth. That's why I'm like, I should have done the cover art. Because I like the cover.
Yeah.
Because remember when the game got revealed, we were like, oh, cool, who's this purple haired antagonist? Little did we
Yeah.
know. Little did we know.
No, yeah, I love all the trailers for Three Hopes because they're really freaking cool.
Also,
Like the way it actually built the game up.
shout out to Three Hopes. We talked about this off podcast, but shout out to Three Hopes for having everything voiced story wise and stuff, and not having a silent
Hmm.
protagonist goes a very long way.
Yeah. Yeah, I really love it.
But yeah, so back on the Persona side topic with it, I I think for like the way this direct was like pitched out, like there was not money disclosed. Like this wasn't an Xbox deal. Like Xbox paid for
Mhm.
these games to come to their platform. Nintendo didn't pay for a
Yeah.
Switch port. I don't think Atlus would
Hmm.
have paid to be the final thing on a direct. So like for me,
Yeah.
I just don't my brain literally just doesn't get it of like why is this? And like I'm not sure if it was just Adam or if it was you, but like when I was talking to Ozzy and you this morning, like he mentioned, well, it's clearly the biggest, like this is the biggest winner, and I'm like, is
Hmm.
it? Like, cause like, is this the thing that someone's gonna remember most from this direct? And maybe that is. Obviously, I'm asking a very biased like audience who's listening to this, but like in my
Yeah.
brain, for me, I thought I was surprised by all these little weird things of it. Of like, the low moments for me were like maybe one too many farming games,
Yeah.
and Monster Hunter opening it was like, yeah, I get it, but like again, the game comes out in 2 days, like they had to include it.
Yeah.
So for me, like it had a lot of like oh shit moments, like us like even something like as kind of down the middle of the road, Bomberman R2, never in a million
Hmm.
years would I have thought we would get. Pac-Man World Remake. By the way, I don't know if it said it in the direct. Did you know that's out in August?
I think it said that, and yeah, that's awesome.
But like that's crazy. Like because like we're just now gonna get Klonoa in like a week, and Namco.
Hmm.
By the way, little bit shitty. Namco will not release a physical copy of Klonoa only in America. They'll do it in Europe and Asia and Japan. But Pac-Man gets a
Awesome.
fucking retail release, and I'm like, I get it. Klonoa's not Pac-Man, and like,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where like, it's it's like when you see like clearly like the effort Nintendo puts into some games versus others. It's like
Yeah.
Nintendo's not giving every like the marketing budget for a Mario and Splatoon will never be the same as like a Live Alive or a Xenoblade
Hmm.
3.
Yeah.
So I guess let's take a step back and kind of talk about the Direct Mini because it was focused as a Direct Mini partner showcase. And
Hmm.
for you, what were your kind of like overall takeaways from it? Like when you, because didn't you go to bed afterwards? I may be wrong.
Uh, yeah, I passed out. I was tired.
So like you're coming down off the high. What was
Hmm.
your takeaway 12 hours later, basically at this point, from that like direct mini of like, okay, that was a blank direct, or I felt this about it.
I thought it was really solid. I mean, because like for me, it's the sort of thing like I tempered my expectations because I was like, well, there's not gonna be actual Nintendo games here. Um, but apart from Mario and Rabbids, I guess. But like,
Damn, shots fired.
um, I mean, I love Mario and Rabbids, but no, yeah, it's like I don't know. I guess like I had my tempered expectations. I'm like, because the partner showcases have always been kind of weird. Because like I still remember like the first ever partner showcase was really funny because it was like just kind of this just sort of like this slate of just nothing that like nobody cared, and then suddenly it was just Nocturne music, and it was like, what the fuck? um,
Like,
so like
wasn't
I don't know.
literally the announcement before Nocturne and SMT5? Wasn't it literally that WWE Battlegrounds game?
Yes, yeah, it was that, and then it led into here's our final announcement. Cue menu to Nocturne music,
God bless.
and then yeah, it's getting our first real trailer of SMT5.
I don't know if you saw this by the way, but did you see that
Mm.
there was um oh here, sorry, I'm trying to pull up a recap thing for it. That in Japan they announced a new Monster Rancher game from Koei Tecmo.
Ooh, I
So
did not see that.
they are bringing back Monster Rancher and it's all kaiju monsters. And I'm like that sounds awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Like that's such a brilliant idea for that. I'm like that sounds like a really really great idea. That I don't know
Mhm.
why that wasn't included. Like Koei Tecmo, if they do
Mhm.
bring their games over, usually try to be as worldwide release as possible. So
Mhm.
I'm not really sure like why that would have been left out. I'm sure there was like probably like we got that and then sorry, like they Japan got that and then we got Lorelei and they had Laser Eyes or something. Like I'm sure that's like how all the
Mhm.
weird crossovers for it. But yeah, for a less than 30-minute direct, I feel like we got a lot of info, but we weren't like dragging on games like too much, you know?
Yeah, like I don't know. I get like my only thing, like you kind of mentioned earlier. I'm like, I don't know. I think the Monster Hunter trailer was a bit long for something that I've seen a trailer for
We
50
Oh,
times.
you probably didn't even watch the Capcom Direct. Like I it's
I
like
did
I've
actually. I was
seen
there for
so
that.
much Monster Hunter recently, and I'm like, I'm sure it's amazing. It's Monster Hunter. It's always amazing. But it's
Yeah,
like, God, dude, I've seen so much of this game.
because I was there for the Monster Hunter Direct because I was saying I watched while I was in Florida with my friends. Which even though like that,
Oh,
yeah.
yo! I am sorry, Flare of Legacy. Blowing my
Mm.
brain. They got Grim Grimoire in their direct. Where was that? That would have been great to see here. You remember NIS America is bringing out Grim Grimoire on Switch and PS4 and PC.
Neat. I just googled this game. I've never heard of it, but it
Oh,
looks neat.
sorry. Yeah, most people probably haven't. So Grim Grimoire is like you know how some people lie and say 13 Sentinels is a real time strategy game. This is actually a
Uh-huh.
real time strategy game.
Awesome.
But yeah, so I thought let's kind of go through and at least mention because I don't think there's anything like outside of like random Disney mobile game that's like oh no opinion on this. So I figured
Yeah.
I'll go in order. I pulled up a list here. We've already talked about Monster Hunter, but like if you have something to say, go for it. Otherwise, you can let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever word comes to
Hmm.
mind. Nier Automata coming out the end of Yorha edition.
That's sick. I'm glad that game's coming to Switch. I need to play it. Probably not on Switch, but I do need to play it.
How funny is it that Persona 5 and Nier Automata, both games that came out right back to back in 2017 around the Switch, are coming out in the same year?
That's awesome.
I don't know. I like that that's your takeaway. Maybe I'm more like pessimistic. I was like, wow, that's really sad. That took them 5 years for this to fucking come to the system. I'm like,
I don't know, I just think
Jesus.
I think it's funny. I
I
mean, yeah,
mean,
it is kind of sad in a way, but yeah.
it's just so funny to me because like in my brain, just because like in my brain, I'm like, if we went back in time in 2017 and told people, hey, I want Persona on this system, I didn't think I'd have to tell them they had to wait 5.5 years.
I will say Persona I think is sadder because that's a PS3 game.
Yeah,
Um,
Persona is less technically like, oh, they couldn't have done it. Whereas at least
no, yeah,
Nier Automata is like, that's impressive that that's coming to Switch.
no, yeah, Nier, I was like, I would have understood. Like, I know Platinum's made stuff for Switch, but like, I would have understood
Are
if
you
it was like,
sure?
yeah, the Switch
Have
just can't
they?
handle it.
Have Platinum made things for? I think we're still waiting on Bayonetta 3. I'm not sure
Sorry,
yet.
no, they made a Wii U game that they put on Switch. You're right.
And Astral Chain. They got two. You
Oh
know
yeah,
what
they made Astral
you know what
Chain.
they should do just to fuck with people on the box for the Nier Automata physical. Big letters on the front. It says from the makers of Babylon's Fall. They should just put that on there. That'll sell a couple more
That game's
copies, I'm
so
sure.
funny.
Any thoughts on Lorelei, the puzzle adventure game?
Not really, no.
If it was a tie-in to Gilmore Girls, I think that would have helped a little bit more. But it has an interesting look of like, looks like a GameCube game and then sometimes looks like a PS1 game. But considering it's a
Hmm.
puzzle game, I feel like it'll probably be something you beat in like 2 hours. But Annapurna usually does some pretty good stuff.
Hmm.
Thoughts on Super Bomberman R? Did you play Super Bomberman R the first one, or do you have any thoughts on the sequel?
The sequel looks neat. I never played the first one.
I will say this. I think in the launch year of the Switch, a game looking like this, I'm like, yep, $50. This looks like it could be fun. I think they're going to have to add a lot to make this seem like it's going to be worth being a full price item, especially because after Bomberman R, remember they did that free to play one. So now I'm
Yeah.
kind of like, I don't know how you sell this, Konami. Like I'm curious, but I don't know how you do it. And then
Even at the
literally,
launch of the Switch, I was like, is Bomberman R really worth
I
50?
mean, when your competition's 1-2 Switch, that's an easy yes. That's an easy yes.
I was excited for ARMS.
Well, true, but I'm talking day one games because your five
Yeah.
options were Breath of the Wild, 1-2 Switch, Just Dance 2017, Skylanders Imaginator, or Bomberman R.
I forgot how funny the Switch's launch lineup was.
It was
Because like whenever I think launch lineup, I tend to just like lump Mario Kart and Splatoon 2 in there, even though I
yeah,
know
because
those games are
they were all
months
so
later.
close, like month to month to month. That's all you got. But I will say this: they were so ready to get rid of Bomberman R. They didn't even have like a splash screen for it. They immediately just
Hmm.
rolled into Battle Network Legacy Collection. So Mega Man has a 10 game RPG collection coming out next year. I don't know if
Yeah.
you have any thoughts on. Did you play the Battle Network games at all?
I played one Mega Man game and it's Mega Man 1.
Okay,
So
good news. This plays nothing like it.
okay, actually, sorry, I emulated X once, said this is really cool, and then forgot to play it again.
Still good
So,
news. Still plays nothing like this. So Mega Man Battle
mhm,
Network is a card-based RPG series,
yeah,
and they are all great. It was actually meant to be like a tie-in game to an anime,
uh-huh,
and they are all very, very good. I've never played all of them because a lot, even though it's 10 games, it's really
mhm,
only 6 because it's Mega Man Battle Network 1, 2, and then from 3 until 6, they did 2 versions of each game.
mhm,
So the fact that it includes all versions, and I'm assuming this will only be like a $60 like game collection, an
mhm,
insane amount of value. Like I don't think any other
yeah,
company, even though it's a bunch of GBA games, like that is
yeah,
an insane amount of work to include in any collection, let alone like an RPG collection.
yeah. I have friends who are excited because they're like Mega Man fans. So,
Hmm. Let me see here. Next, we got Pac-Man World. The pack is back. By the way, shout out to
mhm,
Twitter for
Hmm.
basically Morbiusing this. Like, have you seen like the people who are like, guys, can you believe it? After making a Pac-Man opening intro a meme in less than a month, Bandai Namco remade the first game. Like, I like that. That's like
That's definitely
everyone's
what happened.
takeaway. That's the only reason this is remade.
No, I summoned Pac-Man World into existence because I started replaying Pac-Man World 3, and then I made a tweet that said, "When are we getting the reboot of
So,
Pac-Man World?"
so why three? I forgot to ask you this later. Like, have you played two?
I have played 2 and 3. I
Okay,
really like both.
got you. So yeah,
Cause
one is the one most people haven't played because I'm pretty sure it's only on PS1 and 64.
something like that. Cause my experience with Pac-Man World 3, is that was the video game ever. So I have nostalgia for it.
Mm-hmm. Let me guess, GameCube version.
I played it on the PS2 because that was my first game console.
Gotcha. Yeah, I did PS2 for Pac-Man World 2 and 3. Those were ones that like I played the demos of all of them,
Hmm.
and it was always like, oh, dude, because I was like, how good is this gonna be? Because Pac-Man at the time, not necessarily known for even now, not known for being in good platformers, but
Hmm.
um, looks solid. Coming out really soon. I think it's only $30
Hmm.
with like new features and stuff. Like I'm like that's one that I'm surprised I'm still thinking about as highly as aim. Like that's like a really because like there were no rumors of this, right? Like I don't think we had
I
any
don't
idea
think
that
so.
this was
No.
happening.
No, I just think it's awesome. Like Pac-Man World's cool, and I'm glad they're remaking the first one. I think it would have been awesome if they did an Insane trilogy type thing, but I get why they didn't because Pac-Man World's not that popular.
It's
So
I think it's one of those situations of remaking one's gonna take the most work and will give you a good idea
mhm.
of how much people want it and for cheap.
Yeah,
And then if you do, but like imagine if they do a 2 and 3 collection, that's gonna make everyone cream their pants.
yeah. I would love if they remake 2 and 3.
Because I
Especially if 3 still has all the voice acting, because the voice acting's funny in that game.
shoutouts though to Pac-Man's wife still being dead and missing. It's really unsettling. Like they've really got to like sort that out because
Yeah,
Pac wife is no Miss Pac-Man. It's very weird.
yeah, and I get the copyright with Miss Pac-Man is the weirdest
Oh no,
shit
remember,
ever.
it's not copyright. It's
Oh, what is it?
royalty.
I
It's
forget.
royalty right. So they own the
Oh,
copyright to Miss
awesome.
Pac-Man, but the company with the royalties is at games. So the reason Miss Pac-Man is never included is because anytime Miss Pac-Man is used in any way, shape, or form, Bandai has to share the profits with at games, and that's the only reason why.
Because I get making like a new one. I just wish that if they gave Pac-Man a new wife, they could actually make her look like the other Pac people and not like a Ghost the Adventures character. Because that really bugs the shit out of me.
So next up, uh, pretty game, but I have like really no thoughts about it. Was Blanc, the like fawn and like wolf cub baby game, black and white.
It is a anytime I see a game like that, I'm like, oh, it's Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. Awesome.
I like that's where your head goes. Um, you're not necessarily wrong. I just hope it's not going to have as sad of an ending for that.
Hmm.
Return to Monkey Island, the real Monkey Island 3 or spiritual success. Not even spiritual, it's just Monkey Island again. Ron Gilbert, everyone pretty much you want returning to this. How
Hmm.
did you feel about the art? Because I'm excited for it still, but I had an interesting thing of someone talking about like, oh, I wish they'd kept the pixel art because it does kind of look like a Flash game, and I get that, but like I almost kind of like the art style being more unique because I feel like if they had just
Yeah.
made it look like the first two games, it wouldn't stand out as much.
Yeah. I mean, because I mean, to me at least, like this art style almost like the new art style almost like to me it feels like a pretty natural evolution of the old pixel art. To me, I'm like, hey, what if the old ones weren't pixel art? They kind of that this to me is like roughly what they look like. Definitely like giving it its own style and flair as well, but like I don't know, I think the new style is really nice.
Mm-hmm. We kind of talked about Mario and Rabbit. I feel like Mario and Rabbids was a weird one. If I didn't know this, but apparently the release date leaked last night,
Ah,
and this was mostly just to a announce Bowser and
yep.
b announce a showcase for tomorrow. I think the showcase is going to be the bigger news tomorrow. I think the showcase is
Yeah.
probably going to be a bigger deep dive on the story or the gameplay and the music. Like they are like I don't know if you saw, but like the Mario Rabbids Twitter already brought out the creative director. Who like remember he like at E3 was like crying because like Miyamoto was there and like said he liked the game like I
Yeah.
think this game it has everything up for it to be a success. I just hope
Yep.
it's not too late. Like I'm excited for
Yeah.
it, but I wonder if they waited too long to release because like this will be an over 5 year long sequel, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. And like it's also like, you know, it doesn't like for like I really like how they did them for this game. It doesn't help that it's Rabbids, and a lot of people don't like Rabbids. So, like, I think Mario Rabbids is the best Rabbids game there is because honestly, there's not that much competition. Um, so, and I also think they made the Rabbids not completely obnoxious. So, I don't know. I hope people will actually care about this game because I really like the first one a lot.
The at least the nice thing is the first one is super cheap. Like you can always
Yeah,
buy that first one, and I think it really holds up. Like I'm still checking it
yeah.
out.
No, yeah,
Next
I love the first one.
next up, indie montage. We saw some trains, but I think the big one we all got to talk about Sonic Frontier Switch footage. I the first comment. I don't know if you've seen this. The first top comment on the Nintendo upload for this is insane to me.
Uh-huh.
Nintendo has saved Sonic Frontier's marketing with this trailer. Am I
Yeah,
am I
tell him, dude.
taking crazy pill? Did we watch the like? Did you come away from that trailer thinking this game is saved?
That uh Kingdom Hearts Cloud version player spotted. Like like I just don't I I just don't get it. I don't get that take. Like it still looks like Sonic Frontiers, which does not save Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah, like the fact that like I saw people on like Sonic Twitter, dude, they've got the city level. And when you look at it, no, they just have roads and cars in a ethereal plane. There's no city. It's just they have road with
Like I think the
car.
new mechanic, like I think the new stuff they showed in this trailer looks neat, but it is still Sonic Frontiers, which I have not been I so far have not been given a reason to think this game is saved.
This is a game dying in need of a demo. Like I don't know
Yeah,
anyone, any sane person I don't know who has
let's hope it's
watched
not a
all.
Balan Wonderworld demo, but yeah.
That'd be great if it's like that. But like seriously, it's like outside of the diehard Sonic fans who would fucking buy it anyway, no matter what they put out. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like. Would you trust buying this for $60?
Like I want it to be good because I like the idea, like I like the concept of I to put it very reductively, Breath of the Hedgehog. Like I love the idea of that, but like I don't know, like everything I've seen of it and that they've shown of it,
Mm-hmm.
even putting aside how bad IGN was at playing it,
Well, remember
like
that was actually Sega's footage. IGN never
we,
did any of that initial gameplay. That was all footage
right,
Sega
yeah.
played for some reason.
I even putting that aside, like everything I've seen of it, I'm like, this looks neat. I'd pay 40 max.
God help you, Sonic.
So
That's all I'm gonna say. God help you. You're gonna need the help. Origins has already had its own weirdly messy launch. It's like all
yeah.
you had to do was port 4 Genesis games. But I mean, hey, I get it. We're living in
Which
a weird world.
yeah, which side note, I know I'm jumping the gun a bit here, but like Sonic Origins being like $40
Insane.
is really funny. Like I know it added like some really cool stuff, but like it's still $40 for Genesis games that are like $5 each on Steam. Um and then like late and like in this direct that came out today, the Portal collection is only $15, and that's for two much bigger games.
Much bigger and much better games.
Yeah, because
Like
like
obviously comparing Portal to Sonic, not necessarily fair, but like think about this into
yeah.
perspective because I forgot who said this, but they made a great point. Oh, I think it was actually Digital Foundry in their review of Sonic Origins. Sonic Origins is charging the same amount that Sonic Colors Remastered was. And that wasn't even a good thing, but at least Sonic Remaster was like, well, it's a Wii game in HD. Clearly, you
Yeah.
probably put a lot more work into it. Where then this is just digital only, and still has issues, and still feels overpriced, and has DLC.
Yeah, and like I don't know, like, because like the stuff Origins added was cool, but like the fact like they couldn't even quite get it to feel right and to function perfectly is like
Dude,
why?
I think that the big one of like how they failed at with the Origins is there was not FOMO for me not having the game. Like
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to play I want to play all these games, but like it was bad release timing, not an awesome job, and kind of a messy PR release. Like, did you see the stuff Stealth was putting on Twitter?
I did not know.
So literally, Stealth, who works at Headcanon Games, he worked on Mania and some of the past Retro Engine stuff. Stealth literally
Mm-hmm.
was like, "Hey, just to let you guys know, we worked on Sonic 3. We were already working on something Sonic 3 in the Retro Engine for something else. Sega came to us
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Can you put this in our collection?" We gave them a
Mm-hmm.
product. They rushed them. They did like serious like time crunch, which again just goes. Cause
Jesus.
remember, we had this announced a year ago, and we never saw anything
Mm-hmm.
for this game until like 2 months ago. Like I bet you this
Yeah.
thing was made in like less than 12 months. But like
Yeah.
all they did was give them the port, and then the port that they gave to Sega then put into their own engine, and then added more bugs without letting. Because right now the situation is
Jesus.
the devs at Headcanon know what bugs there are in there to fix, but Sega has not let them put a patch out for it yet. They've not said, "Hey, we will
Jeez.
let you do a patch."
That also reminds me of the other thing that just the Steam versions kind of have going for it, other than being more functional, is also the fact that like the Steam version of like on like the Mega Drive and Genesis classics, that has like workshop support. So I don't want to be friggin' like I know this isn't necessarily the most fair criticism of the $40 collection, but like the biggest thing to at least from my perspective that it added is the cutscenes, and those are on YouTube right now.
Oh, dude, yeah. Also,
So
shout out to Sega PR, who was like, "Please don't upload the cutscenes to YouTube." He's like, "You are you're no, come on, no one's gonna listen to that. Your like 11 minutes of like animated cutscenes are not safe from YouTube." But I appreciate you for trying.
it's
We're
like it reminds me of Atlus being like, please don't stream Persona 5 after the big twist, please. And then everyone did, and they didn't try and stop anyone, and it's really funny.
So we got a couple last little ones. Any thoughts? What's the seniorish hype check for Live Alive? I've been shouting at the roofs, give this game a demo, over and over and over, and thankfully Nintendo listened. So there's a demo out today. But where were you at pre this trailer, and will you be checking out the demo?
I'll give the game a shot. I don't really have too much. Like, I think the game looks really cool because 2D, 3D, or 2D HD always looks cool.
Can you
Um,
imagine 2D 3D? What the hell that engine would
that'd be
be?
awesome. Um, but I don't know. I think the game looks really cool, and I love it conceptually. I do want to give the demo a go.
Mhm. Well, progress does transfer, so I will probably be simping for that game because, like, even though I know it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to sell great, I
Mm-hmm.
want it to at least be more memorable than Bravely Default 2. Because, like, Bravely Default 2, no one asked for, no one enjoyed when it came out, and everyone forgot it released a year ago. Whereas at least, like, this I know is going to have a hard time catching attention because it literally has 1 week before Xenoblade 3. So my gut
Lol.
is, like, just if people buy it, that's all they have to do. Nintendo doesn't care if you play it. Just buy it if you're
Yeah.
remotely interested because it's never going to go on sale. It's like
Mm-hmm.
just buy the game. It's $50. It's really good. If you enjoy the demo, you'll probably love the game. Just don't let this die, please. That's my one
Uh-huh.
request for everybody. And then pretty much else everything we already kind of talked about. Portal, Doraemon, Story of Seasons. Hey, it's a farming game. Dragon
Yeah.
Quest Treasures is a Dragon Quest mobile game coming to Switch as a paid game. So I'm not sure how they're
Mm-hmm.
going to fix that into a thing, but still interesting. And Square Enix was like, "Hey, should we finally announce Tactic Ogre remaster here, Final Fantasy Tactic
Mm-hmm.
remaster, or Final Fantasy 9 here?" No, we'll announce Harvest Stella, a Square Enix action life sim Stardew Valley like game coming out on the Switch September
Are there still
4th.
like goddamn farming games?
Yeah, it was like none of them looked bad, but it was just like, huh. Like Summer Game Fest got a lot of shit for having a lot of space scary games. The Switch, apparently, this is the fall and summer of farming.
Awesome.
So, all in all though, pretty good, like weirdly diverse show. And I don't mean
I
like and I don't mean like weirdly diverse like, oh, this wasn't like what I thought it was. But
mhm.
at the very least, it was like the thing of like, yeah, even if it was something I'm not super interested in, it was like, oh, that's interesting. Or like, so like, and even with everything we talked about, I feel like, again, just throwing Persona at the end of this, I'm like, what was the theme here? Remember, the last thing they showed was the Harvestella game, a brand new game. I mean, it's the third farming game of the show, but still, it was like my brain just doesn't wrap around like the mental thoughts of just like, yes,
I
farming,
do want to
ports, remasters, remakes, and then Persona.
I do want to point out one other game that was in the sizzle reel, just because this was funny and I didn't notice this until after the direct was over. There was the game Captain Velvet Meteor: The Jump Plus Dimensions.
You know, now
Uh,
that's a name.
yeah. So that was there, and like I don't know, my eyes were kind of glazing over during the the thing, like the words, the sizzle reel, just because like I don't know, whatever. But the thing I didn't notice
It's
until
it's
like one
because
of
it
my
started.
friends,
It's because it started with three hopes.
yeah,
Your
I
brain
saw
just
Three
went.
Hopes. I was like, is that DLC? And then it was, and I got sad. But what's really funny about this game that like I didn't notice until one of my friends pointed out to me was that in that trailer, apparently Lloyd Forger from Spy X Family is in this game. And because I think
Really?
yeah, so that happened. Yeah, and it's really funny. I can send you the screenshot.
Please,
Um
yes. I'm like, what? I did not like. Was he in the sizzle thing for a moment?
yeah, he's in the sizzle reel and he's in it for like a second. This is the screenshot. But yeah,
Whoa, you're right. Suecia game. What on earth? That I totally missed that. That's so funny.
yeah, like one of my friends pointed out to me, and I'm like, oh, that's cool, because like me and literally all of my friends are huge into Spy X Family right now. But it
Oh
was
my
really
god.
funny.
How'd you like that season finale?
It was good. I'm excited for the actual season finale when part two comes out.
Do you read the book, by the way?
I have not, no.
Very good. I'm not sure. Are you much into manga?
Um, I prefer anime. If like a good anime adaptation exists, I'll tend to just wait and like just wait for seasons of that.
Okay, I
If
get that.
it's a situation like something like Bloom into You, where I'm like, they're never gonna make the second season, are they? I'm like, all right, I'll read the manga. But I tend to prefer the animes for stuff like this.
No, for sure. A couple other little Persona things that have come out today. So we did find out
Hmm.
that in the West, actually no, worldwide. Actually, this was announced already that Persona 5, because that's the only one with an actual release date and coming this year. Persona
Hmm.
5 is coming physically on Xbox One and Series X. Oh, yes, Series X. There's no Series S disc.
Hmm.
PS5 and Switch, which I was kind of
Hmm.
surprised that they threw that out there. I mean, like obviously good to like get your stuff and everything all planned out there with it, but we now know Persona 5 Royal, this remastered like port comes with all the DLC, which by the way, that what a sad society we live in where that's news, but I get it.
We did
Um
it.
we did it, folks. We got them to not charge us for 2-year-old DLC. Um we still don't know the price of this thing. And I'm like, I don't think it's going to be cheap. I don't think it's going to be over 60. But I'm like,
Hmm.
I wanted to ask you, like, do you want to put your guess out there? How much do you think they're going to charge for this?
I mean, I don't know. I could believe them charging 60 for Persona 5 the Royaler. Um, and I could see them doing that because like when I was at GameStop, like the physical copy was still like 60 on PS4, and I'm like, you can get this game for like 20 now. Don't lie to me, GameStop.
Well, yeah, GameStop does that thing of like GameStop's usually pretty good at like doing sales and stuff for, but yeah, like most times, like if you want to find a copy of P5R now on PS4, it's like $20.
Yeah.
So I think that's that weird one of like, I think if they wanted to be really competitive, if they did
Hmm.
40, that'd be
Yeah,
great. I think that'd be really savvy of them. But then I have to remind myself, this is the company who sold us Nocturne HD for 50.
yeah.
So probably is going to be $60. But interesting nonetheless. So I wanted to ask you, do you think is this a game you would buy physically? I assume, by the way, you would be getting this on Switch day one. Actually, I
Probably, yeah.
shouldn't assume. Or would you get Switch or would you do PC?
Uh, I'm going to collect copies of Persona 5 Royal the way Scott collects copies of Madden 08.
Senores, I better fucking see you with an Xbox Series X copy day one now that you
I
said that.
maybe not day one, but I will have
when it go
it.
when it's like $20 in the clearance bin, then you'll get it.
I am definitely I think if I can day one, I will get it at least Steam and Switch. And if I have a PS5 by that point, which I probably won't, I'll get a PS5 copy.
What is like your weirdest Persona 5 collectible you want to own?
Um, I don't know. My friend bought me a bunch of the Persona 5 orbs, so I'm happy to have
Oh my
those.
god, like
Uh,
the character orbs.
yeah, the
Oh
orb
my god,
plushies, they're like magnetic. I have four of them now.
Gorbo Akechi.
Yeah, I don't have Gorb. I have Joker, Mona, On, and Haru.
Morb Morgana orb. It's just
Cause
Morb.
yeah, I got those from my friend. They got them like they got a bunch of them for us on vacation. Cause they got me. Cause yeah, they got one of my friends Akechi. They got one of my friends Ryuji, and because I'm me, they got me three of them. They got me Joker, On, and Morgana. But they also got on or they got Adam. They got him Haru, but he already had the Haru orb, so I got the Haru orb as well.
Horror orb.
So I got four of them. Yeah.
So
So I like
actually,
those.
speaking of plushies, did the Stubbins news do anything for you? We got two Persona
Oh,
5 plushies coming out.
I'll probably try and get Mona and Nahabino.
I will
I
say,
would like to get those.
I I've ne- I, it's like looking at an abstract art piece. These stubborn creatures,
Hmm.
depending on the mood I'm in, I look at them and I go, "That's cute," or "That's horrifying." Like the answer is never the same. It's like it changes, it fluctuates. Because like there'll be moments I'll be like, "I like how dumb their arms and legs look," and then there'll be times like I'll look at Aogami's hair, and I literally like,
Aogami looks weird and scary. I'll agree with
Aogami.
that.
Tell me I'm wrong. Aogami looks like he's wearing a Burger King crown for hair.
That's true. I will say I wish they would just actually release the other Nahabino plush to everyone because
You know they
I
can't.
wasn't a cool
You know they can't.
yeah, I wasn't a cool enough Atlus YouTuber Twitch streamer to get one. I did get to see it when I met Adam though.
I heard you stole it. Is that correct?
No, I'm sadly not.
I
He searched my bags before I left.
that'd be so sad. I could believe it though. So here's the funny thing about the Nahabino, the one that came out last year, is like a giveaway. That
Hmm.
I had always been told was never going to be sold. So
Hmm.
it's straight up now, unless something crazy happens, I can confirm it will never be sold. So put that on your news story, Twitters, or whatever. The person who
Hmm.
designed that Nahabino doesn't even work with Atlus anymore.
Awesome.
So like the dream was never alive to begin with, but it's officially in the ground and dead. So like,
Hmm.
and it's funny because obviously I think it's because that one looks so homemade and derpy. I think that's why
Hmm.
I like it more. Even though it's got nubbins and it's got really simplistic design and its face is so silly. Like, I think because of all those like features, that's why like it doesn't scream like, "Oh, here's a marketable plush someone made." This just kind of seems like a weird thing someone wanted to do and they got to make like 100 of them, you know?
Uh-huh.
Let's catch up on questions because I've been very bad about YouTube. So if you're still throwing in opinions or questions, keep them coming. Let's see here. Chugga, chugga, chugga.
Oh yeah, I think I said this on our reaction stream, but I do find it funny that Persona 3 Portable is now actually getting ported to a portable console.
Well, hey, the Vita port was still sitting there waiting for you any day now.
I own
Um,
it.
so Cherry Pop and Ninja brings up a good point of they should do a double pack with P5R and Strikers. That would be
That'd be
brilliant.
sick.
I don't think they would ever do it physically, like a 2 games on one cart thing, because that would actually be a pretty chunky cart. But
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a lot of digital bundles. I think you're going to see a Persona 4 Golden and Ultimax bundle. I'm sure
Yep.
you're going to see like all 3 of these in one bundle and stuff like that. There's a lot of opportunities there. They can go with it for sure. Actually,
Yeah.
another thing I forgot to mention. I mentioned this on Twitter, but just because I didn't have a lot of great ways to fit this in. For anyone out there who does care, I have a couple of performance things I had confirmed since last week and have learned about the Switch version. So Xbox, at least Series X. I've not actually checked what the Xbox One stats are. Series X, PS5, PC, targeting 1080 upscale. So currently 1080, but could be up to native 4K. That I don't know for sure. It will look at least as good as the PS4 version, as you would hope, but is confirmed 60 FPS. Switch is 720, whether it be docked or undocked, and that's only 30. So it's going to be like the Ni no Kuni situation. You remember when they re-released Ni no Kuni 1? And on PS4 and PC it was called Ni no Kuni Remastered, and on Switch it was just called Ni no Kuni? Because it was like, it's not any better. It's just the same game. That's pretty much it. Because like in Japan, they're
Yeah, that's what I assumed.
In Japan, they're literally calling this re-release Persona 5 Royal Remastered. And I don't think you're gonna look at that Switch version and call it a remastered. But I mean,
I like that.
It's Persona 5. It's so stylish. Like it doesn't really need to be any better
it doesn't matter
looking like that, especially on a portable system.
No, yeah. I will say I do like that there's now a version of that game I can call P5RR. That's just funny to me.
Oh man, I was so bummed. In Japan, I would have really liked it if they just went all ham. They should have called it Persona 5 The Royal, The Remaster.
That was what I wanted them to call the Scott Pilgrim re-release. I wanted them to call it Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, the remaster.
That would have been funny. Although, man, I always forget that that's a Ubisoft game. I will say this. A remaster I'm glad happened officially. But I'm so glad I picked it up on clearance physically for $10, because that was a game that I think we all wanted to play really bad, and then once we played it for 10 minutes, we are like, oh yeah, that's fun. Like,
I mean, I really like it. I will admit I didn't finish it yet, but I do really like it.
It's a very, very good beat 'em up, but it's just like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I didn't need to buy a $300 collector's edition for this game from limited run.
I mean, because the reason I haven't finished it was because me and Adam were playing it co-op online, and we never finish games. So,
well, you never finish.
That's kind of
you
why.
never finish normal people games. You guys will finish the long 100-hour bajillion RPGs and stuff. But yeah, the 10-hour beat 'em up. No way, Jose.
Well, I mean, me and Adam won't finish games together. Like we started playing Donkey Kong Country together. We still didn't finish it.
Donkey Kong Country 1?
Yeah, we were playing DKC 1 online.
Where's that stream? That's a stream I'd pay for.
That'd be fun. I'd do it. Me and Adam can stream all 3.
Be like, can I be the Kiddy Kong? He can be Diddy, and then you can be Trixie.
I'll be Dixie, but yeah.
Wait, is Trixie? Did I make that up? No, I think Trixie's the big boobed one.
Maybe. No, that's Candy.
I don't like how quickly you corrected me. Trixie Kong is a Kong. Unless I'm horribly wrong. No, it's Dixie. Oh, then there's Tiny Kong. Too many Kongs. Give it time.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be took 3 rows of Google images. I got Dixie Kong vor porn. Thanks, Google. Time for closing that tab real fast. Okay says Xbox weird marketing and NDA stuff on all the Persona news was very annoying. It sort of soured the announcement of the games coming to Xbox, and I'm just glad it's finally announced everywhere. That's definitely my case, because it's like it's more annoying from Atlus than anyone else. I'm not mad at Nintendo. I'm not mad at Xbox. Yeah. It's just like you're trying to be like that sitcom episode everyone hates, where like you schedule 3 dates on the same day and you're stretching them all out and they're all suffering from it. Like that's just what it feels like.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, you can show me the Phantom Thieves logo and I'll clap like a seal every time. I do
we
get
need to
that.
put that. We need to put that theory to the test in person.
Because Persona, because like I don't know, like because like Atlus, they're known for announcing announcements. They didn't announce this announcement; they just kept announcing it. It's really funny.
Here's another one for it. What do you think? Is there anything we should be concerned about for these Switch versions of any? Like, are there anything that are giving you caution, or anyone out there that might be like, I'm excited for this, but I'm worried X might happen or Y or anything like that?
I'm not particularly. I know one of my friends, because they're a big Kingdom Hearts fan and they've been burned before. They were scared Persona was gonna get the cloud treatment.
I mean,
um,
do people think P5 is like a graphically intensive game?
no, but neither is Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. But
Square's gonna square.
so yeah, it's like I did reassure them a bunch because I was like, no, I have faith. Atlus actually puts their games on Switch like correctly. Um, so I was like, I don't think that will happen. And luckily it didn't, but I understood why they were worried because they're a big Kingdom Hearts fan.
Was this Victor or
And
or another friend?
Victor's one of them. This is my friend Amber. She is like diehard, grew up with Kingdom Hearts, freaking loves them.
That's the thing I don't get
And yeah,
about you guys, because I think we watched the Sora reveal or we talked about it, and I was like, I don't know
mhm.
how none of you are into Kingdom Hearts. Like, how am I the oldest and the only one who likes Kingdom Hearts? It blew my mind.
Yeah, well, because in our reaction, because Victor was a big fan, he was playing through the games when Sora got announced, and me and Adam had not played. Well, I think Adam had touched Kingdom Hearts a bit, but I don't think he's really ever finished any of them, and I've never touched them.
Yeah, Adam confirmed. Ozzy is a coward. That is for sure. So,
I, I
so who was the friend to go? Sorry, I got my brain's fucking running out here.
my friend Amber, who is the one who
Amber.
was
Okay.
like, I please do not cloud P5R.
It's like the new form of cucking. It's clouding a game.
Yeah.
Dimmy Crow, by the way, speaking the reverse of cucking, Dimmy Crow, today of all days, Nintendo must have known I was a Persona fan. Dimmy Crow's account has been banned on their Switch for months, if not almost over a year at this point. Finally got
Uh-huh.
unsuspended today, just in celebration.
Awesome. Awesome.
Let's see here. Yes, Nier is getting a physical release for all those who
Nice.
are curious. Um, yeah, talked about physical release, Battle Network hype, PS4 talk. Persona 5 The Royaler would be pretty funny. Hello to
Mm-hmm.
Krillcast. Um, I will say this. Mario Kart Pro 1000. I don't necessarily think one platform is going to be the best way to play this. Persona
Mm-hmm.
3 Portable is made to be played portably. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think 3 is going to be most at home on the Switch for sure, even though I will be
Yeah.
playing it on TV. I'll say this. Senor, how do you feel about... I was thinking about this of like, I almost... If I had the choice, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
want to recommend P5 be experienced on a Switch portably for your first time, just because like it's a very cinematic game. Like I feel like it
Yeah.
it would almost kind of lessen that experience, not really getting the like boom and the like visuals of the presentation and the music and the voice acting. Like that's like a weird
Mm-hmm.
one of like P4 and 3 are obviously coming from portable versions, but like
Yeah.
something like this, it's like yeah, like something with like Persona 5, like even those Strikers, even something like Strikers, even though I'm glad it's on Switch, like that's a game I want to play on like a nice big TV and enjoy the music, enjoy the
Yeah.
action, stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's definitely how I feel about Royal as well. Just 5 in general. But that does give me a funny story about my first experience with Persona 5.
Hmm.
So when I got Persona 5, initially for my because I got P5 and a PS4 just together. It's why I got a PS4 because that was me. And what happened at the time, I was living with my dad and my grandma, and I did not have a TV in my room at the time, and my grandma pretty much always just had the TV upstairs. So the only way for me to play Persona 5 Royal, or sorry, Vanilla P5, was playing remote play on my Vita. So that is how I first
Yeah,
experienced Persona 5.
the best way, the best way
Yep,
to play.
it was funny.
It's It actually like really holds up on the Vita. I played a large amount of
Yeah.
P5 and Royal on remote play, and man, yeah, that was actually probably one of the last games I really played a lot of on remote play. Um,
Hmm.
it just the social stuff
Luckily, I had
works
a
well.
TV
It
for
looks
Royal.
good on the screen. You're still kind of
Yeah.
home and comfortable for it. Yeah, that was a really really good one for sure.
No, yeah,
Um,
it still worked.
what's here we go. Oh, we got another one here. Steampunk says, "What do you think there was a reason Fez wasn't brought to other consoles?" Obviously, I talked about this a lot last week. Of it's
Hmm.
mostly not because they can't. They didn't lose the code. It's not like also. By the way, you don't need source code to port a game to other systems. You need
Yeah.
the game. You can rip a ROM and make it a remaster. But
Yeah.
um, it's just convenience. I know most people think Fez is the ultimate version for it, but at the end of the day, what Portable brings to the table outweighs what it loses in its portable iteration for it. But like for you, like Seniors, I'm curious, where do you kind of stand on the Portable v Fez debate of like which one do you want to play more, wish you got more, stuff like that?
My perfect reality would have been them porting FES and putting in a party control. That's my ideal version of P3 because
It's so much work from a company who never wants to do any work though.
yeah, I know. Cause like I like Fest more. I like the game's presentation more. I don't like playing it, but I really like the story of the answer. So like I genuinely just like Fest. I got a copy of it on PS2 as my first experience with P3.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I don't know. I I get why portable. I like Fest more. I would have liked it if they did that more, but I'll accept portable.
For portable, have you only played FemC or have you done both routes?
Um, portable is kind of fun because like I've barely touched portable because I own it, but I've just barely played it so far.
So I'll say this then:
Um,
in that situation, if you've not done a full run of
mhm.
anything in portable, if you play as FemC, it feels a lot more fresh than if you just did normal male protagonist. Just because that's gonna feel
Yeah,
like a watered down version of the PS2 version, whereas that's only in
yeah,
portable, and that makes it feel a lot more fresh and new.
yeah. Because my plan is to do the FemC route because Adam's teased this on his Twitter, so I feel safe saying this. Whenever Adam gets to reviewing P3, the way
Hold on. Let me look at my calendar. ETA says 2025. I'm optimistic.
yeah, something like that. Whenever Adam gets around to reviewing P3, the plan is he's going to play through and review FES, and I'm gonna be the guest star on that video, and I'm gonna review the FemC route of portable.
And
So
just think,
that's
you
the way
guys,
we're gonna
he
do
waited
that
just
video.
long enough for these games to finally be ported. It's all coming together.
It's true. That's why the P1 video took a year, and definitely not because of everything
He
else
just
I know
held it
about
off
that
because he
video.
was really thinking a port was coming this year, guys.
God.
Let's see here. Got a couple more questions to catch up on. Ryan brings up a great point. I'm still depressed P1 or 2 hasn't gotten anything that's only been art and merchandise. So, Ryan, I'm definitely not trying to call you out, but this
Mm-hmm.
brings up a great point that I've seen a lot today. If
Mm-hmm.
your takeaway from this month's news of Persona 3, 4, 5 coming to modern consoles is fuck, no P1, 2, it's just not that shouldn't be your takeaway. Obviously, you can be disappointed if you don't
Mm-hmm.
like those games and you only like the first two games. I understand it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like think about it like this: they are now out of things to port 3, 4, and 5 related mainline. So
No,
that
they can port dancing, god damn it.
well, that's why I said mainline. Come on.
Uh
So
no, that counts.
so if it's like okay, now if you're
Uh,
Atlus, we're just running out of things to port, and like one
mhm.
and two, the two duology as well as the original, are going to either be like I mentioned a quick PlayStation Plus or sorry PlayStation Premium collection output of like you're just gonna rip those PSP ROMs and put them with trophies on there, or this is going
Mhm.
to be a remaster of a bunch of PSP games or the original PS1 games, and it's going to take a ton of work. So it's going to be either think of like it's going to be, believe it or not, even though they're the least graphically impressive out of all of the six so far,
Mhm.
they are the most work required or are going to be the least amount of returned investment. So it's like, of course you would want to
Mhm.
do like, 'cause there's a reason we're not getting Persona 3 Portable first. We're doing this in reverse order because we want to make the most amount of money as quickly as possible. P5
Yeah.
coming to all consoles this year isn't because that's the only one they could get running. It's because the most amount of people out there want to play the newest game on other platforms, which is why P5 is
Mhm.
coming before 4 and why 4 is coming at the same time as 3.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. People in the chat appreciate your taste in anime. Spy Family hype.
I
See,
will also say I was gonna say with P1 and 2, if they do end up porting those at some point, can they like translate the PSP version of Eternal Punishment?
please,
Because
please,
that'd be cool.
for the love of God, like that being not like released still sucks. So like it's so weird. It's like, hey, do you want to play Persona 2? Okay, play a remake of the first game and then play an original old and outdated version of the second game. It's so
I don't get it.
uh blame it on Atlus Japan, sadly. Robert has a dilemma. I'd be curious what you would say with this. I want to go with a physical version on Switch of Royal, but I'm also thinking of sticking with digital and playing it on my Series S with Game Pass for the graphics and performance enhancements. What would you
hmm
say?
Um, I mean, obviously, it comes down to which one you value more. Of like, do you want the super sexy visuals or do you want the portable factor? Um, I don't know. For me personally, I'd probably prefer it portably, just because like I don't know. Persona 5 for me, it's not a game about like graphical fidelity. It's a game about style. So that game running at 720 doesn't matter to me too much. But I don't know, if you care that much, then yeah, the graphical update will definitely be a big deal, and I'm excited to see how the game will look updated.
See, I'm gonna just go
If
from
I get
this
to
from
play it.
a pure cheapskate aspect. I'd say
hmm
skip it on Switch then, because if you have Game Pass, that's
Oh
free
yeah, if you
for
have
you.
Game Pass, then yeah, there
Your
you
whole
go.
point is I
That
want to play
too.
it on Game Pass. You'll get to play the best looking version of it first, and then this game will clearly go on sale, and then you can pick it up for cheaper and add it to your collection then.
Yeah, do that too. That's also smart because yeah, Game Pass also means that you assume yeah, Game Pass is also I mean, assuming you already have it, then yeah, you already have P5R. You just have to wait for it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have it, well, then yeah, you bought Game Pass and you're getting P5R plus a bunch of other shit.
Let's see here. Misa brought up an interesting point about price. I'd be curious if you had to make a bundle. Obviously, it wouldn't be
hmm
physical, although that would be awesome. But if there was a digital bundle for 3, 4, and 5, what do you think that like you charge for that?
Um,
I'd say 100.
100 because 100 could make sense.
Because I'm thinking
I like
60 for Royal and then 20 a piece going off Steam price.
they could do that. There is also because like it also depends on how much they're charging for Royal at all. Because like the cool price to like if they want to make a price that's a stupid bargain that they probably won't do, I to me that'd be like 75, but that's
Mm.
like maybe too cheap. Because
No, I
75
definitely
to me
get
that's
that.
like yeah, it's like that's like 20 each for 4 and 5 and then like 35-ish for Royal.
Ooh,
But
I got a question for you. Where's the Seniorish hype check for Soul Hackers?
I'm very excited. I'm getting it.
Have you been following the recent news and stuff? Because I guess we can throw this in news as well. We finally know the cast in
Mhm.
English from a good trailer that released earlier this week, which again feels like 9 million years ago is when that happened. But
Mhm.
any thoughts on the English cast, or if you do not remember, that is okay. I will also read it off. Who's who?
I have not seen the English cast, I don't
Okay,
think.
cool. So we
I don't
can
know why I don't know
spoil.
why I keep just I keep just missing Soul Hacker 2 trailers and just forgetting they come out even though I do want this
It's
game.
to be fair, it's because they come out every day and they're just
That's
so
true.
much information. Like it's too
Yeah,
much.
that too.
Spoilers. A lot of Fire Emblem crossover here. So Ringo
Awesome.
is voiced by Megan Harvey. Do you remember who
Okay.
Megan Harvey might be?
I don't recognize that
The
name.
voice of Sophie from Strikers.
Oh, okay.
Fig is by Erica Mendez. Erica
Okay.
Mendez, I remember, has been in a bunch of things, but I'm running a blank on what she was probably known for. I'm gonna run a blank on a couple of these. So
Yeah.
in chat, if you want to make me feel bad or shout out things they've been in, Arrow. I'm
Uh,
assuming you will definitely know Zach Aguilar.
yeah, I believe.
Well, it's male Byleth.
Yep. Also, yeah, looking at yeah, pulling up Erica Mendez. The thing we've been playing that she's Bernadetta in Three Houses.
Oh yeah. Okay.
She's also like Ryoko and Kill la Kill and stuff like that I care about.
Milady is voiced by, because apparently I swear to God this person's in every Atlus dub in the last like 10 years. Erica Lindbeck.
Yep.
Saizo is voiced by Griffin Putau, who I definitely probably butchered their last name. Griffin has not been in as much, but Griffin has still been around for quite a bit. Same with
Mm-hmm.
Raven's voice actor, that's Edward Bosco. And then Chris Hackney, for all those Blue House people out there, is Kaburagi. And then the normal ones of Patrick Seitz is Victor. The shopkeeper Victor, as well as Jack Frost voice actor is still Sarah Williams, and so there'll still be a bunch more news and everything coming out for that. But good, good casting of like outside of one really familiar cast person with Erica Lindbeck.
Mm-hmm.
All in all, like okay, we haven't seen these people in a lot of Atlus games, so I was pretty happy with that inclusion. Obviously, the casting in Soul Hackers is not as big as like a Persona, so that's kind
Yeah.
of why like the hope is like, hey, there's going to be a lot of story here, so hopefully you're not going to see a lot of like repeat faces. Like no, obviously no offense to any of
Mm-hmm.
them, but it's like I'm not like if I keep seeing Max Middleman and Robbie Damon in every game ever, it's eventually going to lose its like luster, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see though. Going back to some chat stuff here, because I think I had a question from the Krillcast. Chris, by the way, also played P5 on the Vita, so shout out to all the remote play people out there.
Yep.
Let's see here. Talking about portable convenience, playing games outside. Here we go. Wait, does P3P legit use the same engine as P4G? I know P4 was originally supposed to come to PSP. No, they are different engines. The P4G engine is basically just the P4 engine, but with a couple of extra, like, HD things in there. For the most part, it's basically the exact same thing. The P3P engine is a mod. It's a weird one because they're using two different engines. There's an engine for the social visual novel elements, and then there is the Battle Tartarus engine. So it's two engines on top of each other for that one. So I wouldn't say it's probably not the P3 engine, similar with 3 to 4. But yeah, that's a little bit of a weirder one, just with P3P being basically two different games in one. Let's see. I'd like to think, talking about that. I already asked this last week, but in light of today's announcement, by the way, this is by Jacques, says, in light of today's announcement, how do you feel about P3 and 4 physical bundle that you indicated before? Still on the table, or were you misinformed? No, so I've seen this come up a little bit. So yeah, on the chart, I don't know if you saw, they basically put out a thing saying, hey, for now, Persona 3 and 4 on every console is digital only, with no plans of physical. That's still the case, I know, in Japan and Asia, but everything I have been told is they're not going to change it or announce it, obviously, until they really have a release date. But their plan is to not sell Persona 3 and 4 at retail. They're going to sell them in a combo pack, so both games on one disc or one cart. And basically, so it'll just be like a anniversary thing. Like, do you remember when Sega sold the Platinum Anniversary Bundle a couple years back?
I think so.
It was the Bayo combo and Vanquish combo, the PC port of those games on Xbox and PS4. They're basically going to do the same thing like that. So take these two $20 games that probably wouldn't work too well at retail on their own, put them in like a little steelbook box or like a retail package, maybe like a half-assed art book or something like that. Sell them for $40, and that will sell way more than if you just sold them on their own. Similarly, like how with how like Sega sold the Yakuza Remastered collection, they were never going to sell Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 physically. Like they did that in Japan.
Yeah.
So like they actually individually sold cased copies of Yakuza 3 Remastered and stuff like that. But as
Hmm.
popular as Persona 3 and 4 are, they don't really make sense to them at retail, but this bundle is still definitely in the plan. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd be curious with something like that. Like, what do you think's like a good thing to kind of include as like a not collector's edition, but like a fun like day one bonus thing?
Uh, I mean, cause I don't know, it's like it's like sitting behind me. I mean, like they could do the Catherine full body switch thing and include like a keychain for each game, like a Teddy and Koromaru keychain or something. I don't know.
Dude, I'm so sick of the fucking Morgana and Teddy 3D model rig because it's like
Uh-huh.
you can't just make a model for P3. Like P3
No, it's
can
really
never come
funny.
out and like Teddy just always has to announce P3.
It's really funny. I'm like, I know Aigis' VA is kind of a dick, but
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even think of doing Aegis. They literally could just do a like low poly model of Koromaru and just give him
yeah,
yip yip yip. So yeah, that's a weird one. But yeah, I know people have been confused because with the new chart being today, they've been thinking, okay, maybe physical's not planned anymore. The only reason they're not
hmm,
announcing this is because they have no idea when they're. I mean, they probably have some inclination of when early next year they're doing it, but it's not
hmm,
this year. That's still 6+ months away. There's not pre-orders
yeah,
coming up, so like there's no reason for them to announce it now. So that's why things are so like fluid. But like, just think about it like this, guys. This isn't something like I don't know. Like this is a bigger deal than even Soul Hackers 2, I would say. Like Persona 3
yeah,
and 4 are big games. Like there's no reason that these would miss retail, especially
hmm.
for an anniversary bundle. Um but I think that is just about it. If anyone has any last minute questions, we've pretty much been going for like an hour and 21 minutes. So,
Hmm.
in case people are not aware, senors, where can people come and find you besides the normal internet places?
Uh, I don't know. I'm gonna try and stream again, and I'm on Twitter, and that's the main thing. I have like ideas for YouTube videos that'll never get made.
But
Um,
at least you've accepted the fact they'll never get made. It's like you're not lying to yourself anymore. Then
I want to at some point. It's just a matter of motivating myself.
what's like? Let's
Um,
say you've got a Jimmy Neutron brain blast moment. What
mhm.
do you? What's a video that you're like, God, if I could just like beat myself up for a month and just suck it up and make a video happen, what would it be and why?
Cause like I have a few things. Cause like one thing that I would, if I want to do it, I'd have to do it like soon because it's topical. Is doing like this. I have like this idea for like reviewing like the 5 anime I was watching this season and just kind of like making like this big like this video is just like this review of 5 different anime.
Oh, I mean that would
Um,
be pretty low effort. Just get a couple of clips, talk over it, and stuff like that.
yeah, it's like there's that I could do.
By the way,
If
can
not
I ask
that,
what are the five?
they were the 5 shows I watched this anime season
One
were there's my
Piece.
sticky note. No, it was Komi Can't Communicate, Your Boy Kong Ming, Kaguya-sama Love is War, Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, and Spy X Family. Those are the things I watched.
No dress up, darling.
Well, I watched that, but that like ended before any of these shows even like started.
Really?
So
I thought
I
Comey was before dress up, darling.
season 1 was, but not season
Oh,
2 came
season
after.
2. That'd be why. Okay. I would
Yeah.
say, I mean,
Uh,
something like that. Like, obviously, yeah, it is definitely
yeah.
topical. But I mean, I think we're still
Yeah.
in enough of a lull that, like, that's something you could probably, if you wanted to, really get it out there for. Because, yeah, that is. I always am,
Yeah,
like,
I
a
definitely could.
sucker of more, like, kind of videos like that. Of, like, because,
Yeah.
like, outside of this podcast, no offense, guys, I wouldn't make a video just saying, Persona's on Switch. Because, like, I know there's a lot of people out there who, like, do a lot of similar, like, coverage and stuff that I do. But, like,
Mhm.
I get talking about something and kind of making that your, like, brand or whatever on YouTube. But, like, I can't ever imagine being that guy who has to make a video over every news story, you know?
Yeah, nah.
It's like there's certain, like, I know you can't be that excited like for finding out that something got like blah 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 or like there's certain like levels because like that's why I like doing this once a week because even if I'm
Yeah.
not going into it being excited there's still things to talk about with it But it's like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't ever want to look at stuff that I love as a franchise and think I gotta make content. I'm like, oh man, dude, I can't believe we didn't fucking upload our reactions to the Nintendo Direct. I'm like, it's nice just to like things, of just like, let's enjoy it with friends.
Yeah.
Because obviously we streamed it, but like I think there's that,
Yeah.
that difference between you're doing it because you want to share with others or I want to put content out. Like, I don't ever get the things like, even today, like with the Switch thing, people like I saw were like
Mhm.
racing to get their first video impressions up of this news. I'm like, what's the news?
Yeah, like, cause like, I mean, like, cause I stream directs, cause I always do pretty much, um, and me and Adam like doing it, and we're gonna watch them together anyway. So,
Ooh.
I don't know, like that's like the main reason I like stream reaction stuff like that, cause I'm like, why not?
We talked about this. I
Hmm.
don't because I know you've done a lot of tiers and Smash reactions. Have
Yep.
you tiered every Smash character reveal?
Um, not on stream, but I have done it myself, and I might do it on stream
It's
one
a
day.
it's a slow Thursday night. I'm gonna react myself. I'm gonna give King K. Rool a B plus, solid B plus.
I mean, I do love I do like ranking all those trailers.
They're fun, man. They're fun to
Uh,
watch. They're fun to get
yeah.
trolled by. They're fun to remember getting trolled by, or like the like. As stupid as this sounds, I will never not have a reaction if you came up to me and said, "Do you remember where you were?" I mean, I was fine. I was gonna say for Sora, but like I know you and Ozzy, literally, you guys were
Mhm.
like, I was fully aroused when you saw that Joker
Mhm.
got put into Smash. Like you're never gonna
Yeah.
forget that moment.
No, definitely not. It was the greatest moment of my life.
Oh my god, seriously. I want that to not be true so bad. I want you to have a moment better than that in your life as quickly as humanly possible, please.
Because the tier list me and Adam need to redo one day and like go back to now that Smash is done is continuing our ranking every single Smash remix ever made.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah, because all the remixes are done. Don't forget, because
yeah.
people forget it. Don't forget that Dearly Beloved mix. People forget that one.
I mean, that's not even a remix. It was in Memory and Melody.
But I think it's still classified as a remix because it's not an original version. But I may be
I
wrong.
do I do find it funny. I have that song. I did get that song in Smash, not because I owned Memory of Melody, but because while I was on vacation in Florida, Victor had a copy of Memory of Melody with him, so we just put it in my Switch so I could get the song in Smash.
Can I just say, I've never felt more offended at not being on a trip with other people. Obviously, it was Florida and would have been hot as fucking hell. But man, I would have loved to have
It
hang out with you guys in Florida.
was a fun time.
But unfortunately, trips that takes money. You know what else takes money? This podcast, hypothetically. If you'd like to help support this
Mhm.
podcast, you can go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/SMTN. And you can donate as little as $1 a month and get basically the show early when it's not live like this, exclusive giveaways. I have a giveaway for Soul Hackers 2 going on right now until the end of the month, but then after that will be a Patreon exclusive double giveaway. I have at least 2 or 3 Persona items I need to give away on Patreon. But because fun fact, when you're moving, you find a lot of shit you forgot you have. Um, so I have a lot of Patreon exclusive giveaway stuff coming up soon to make up for all the live episodes. But man, the news has been coming in too hot and fast. But if you would like to help support the show and have me say your name at the end of every episode, you can be a $5 and up patron. So every month you can be an executive producer, just like Jag Angus, Budweiser Tall Cans, which by the way, what a great name. Carlos Hernandez, Cross Renren, K Horse, Kashika, Patrick Dissart, Philip Meyer, C Show, Soul Lair, and Cameron Sharpdew. Thank you all so much for being SMTN executive producers. I appreciate all of you guys for listening, even if you're listening for free. I appreciate Senores for joining me tonight and
Mm.
talking with all this. We have a last, I think, like 2 or 3 questions real quick. We had Quickie here. Did Nocturne HD Performance ever get patched? Yes, but it's
Yes.
still a little messy. But it is much better than it was at launch. It has been patched, but it
It's
will not be getting
it's
any more
doable if
patches.
you it's doable. I'd say if you want to play Nocturne, HD is probably now the actual best version.
How's that
But
Nocturne
yeah.
HD run going for you, by the way?
is a good game. I'll tell you how I feel when I
Were you
finish it.
are you still in the camp of like I won't play 5 till I beat Nocturne?
No, I played a decent bit of 5. Like, I don't know, I really like both games. I just suddenly had this just I don't know, I just suddenly had this moment of like I had like this sort of bit whenever I got those games where I was like, I don't feel like playing literally any video games right now, and it's just kind of a matter of dragging myself back to any of them now that like I'm actually playing stuff again.
No, I definitely get that. Although I will say, man, I am so glad that this year has been kind of slower on big releases because I mean it doesn't feel like
Mhm.
it right now, especially with like Nintendo. But
Yep.
I'm glad that we're like not drowning in games this fall and like getting
Mhm.
ports, getting re-releases, getting a couple of new games every now and then. Because like I feel like when we do get those new games that are like out, they're like 100+ hour RPGs, and I'm like, oh, okay, good, 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 good.
I I will say something I wanted to mention. I just kept forgetting to mention it, which is by pure coincidence, at the end of July, I'm also moving.
Yeah, I
So
was gonna ask you a move question. Okay, so hey, we're extending this. This is the post
awesome.
credits move thing. Are you moving far, in state, in city? Where's the move without doxing yourself?
The plan is basically so we're being forced to move. Basically, we
I'm
just can't stay
evicted.
here
I didn't want to
anymore.
tell you on stream, but I got evicted in the middle of this.
It's a sort of thing of like the thing that owns our home is getting rid of it, so we can't live here anymore. So our game plan is basically move like 10 minutes away because we want my brother to be in the same school district.
That's nice. I mean, honestly, yeah,
So yeah.
those like when you're at school things can be like really kind of like poopy or whatever. Do you guys already know where you're gonna be?
Assuming we get this house, yes.
Oh, okay. So it'll be. Are you in a house currently?
Yeah, we're currently in a house. It's just yeah, we have to get out. It's just yeah, we have to be out basically by the end of July.
I don't know why this made me laugh so much in the chat. PlayStation move?
That's true.
Move
That's pretty
with
true.
PlayStation move. Oh my
Pokemon
god.
move to the polls.
Um, any tips for movers out there, myself or any other people out there included? Because right now I'm just in the box everything up stage, but I think it's always
Hmm.
interesting to get people's perspectives of like, I like moving, but I know some people hate it,
Hmm.
or like are just like because my dad's in the opposite. Like my dad in his life has moved so much, he's just like, I will just pay for someone to move all my shit for me. My dad never wants to pack and move ever again.
Um, I feel like for me, packing is just I find packing kind of tedious. Once I get to the place, I love unpacking and setting up my new room.
Oh,
That for me is what I'm there for.
I am dying because like I haven't bought furniture in a long time, and like I have been
Hmm.
kind of like in need of it. But we've been looking for a place with big. It's like you're not gonna buy furniture like when you're planning on moving, you know. So like
Hmm.
we've just been kind of like stuck with it, and yeah, packing has been fun because I'm going through a lot of stuff I forgot that I had and getting it like organized, things like that. But yeah, unpacking A is a good
Hmm.
game, and B, yeah, it's just that thing of like when you're like loading those shelves up, it's such a
Hmm.
satisfying feeling, especially because like I have like my Atlas shelf fit perfectly in like to like one like box and stuff for it, which is so funny. Of
Hmm.
like you always think you have a lot of stuff, and then when you put it all away, it's like oh, it's not that much. But
Like everything I own is just in my bedroom. Nothing's in anywhere else in the house.
what is the largest thing for you to move? Like, do you have more games or like more clothes?
Um, I think probably clothes right now.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a decent physical game collection. Like it's building.
Do you want to
I
know
think
one of
we.
the weirdest questions I got when I started like my new position at my job? One of the cold like icebreaker questions was so weird. They were like, it was
Hmm.
mostly guys too. They're like, "How many
Uh-huh.
shoes do you own?" And so like I own two. I'm that guy who wears the
Yeah,
one pair of shoes until they fall off, and then
yeah, pretty much.
I have my fancy shoes. If we're not counting
I have
sandals. Like so for you like how many
I ha
shoes do you have?
I have a pair of sneakers that I got. They're like really I got those like recently because my other shoes are falling apart. They're like pretty nice. I got them for cheap. I have a pair of like Converse that I really like, and my brother bought me Crocs. So I have 3 pairs of shoes that I actually like kind of wear.
I'm gonna assume when you were in Florida that Ozzy gave you his pair of Yeezys. That's my head canon for what your new shoes
I
are.
don't I don't think that happened, sadly.
It was either
Adam,
Yeezys or a Haru orb.
I got Haru Orb.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for sticking around to the bonus podcast of How to Move with PlayStation Move. Um, Thank you all for listening live. Thank you for listening if it was not live after the fact. We will be back next week. It'll be July, and that's about all I can tell you because that's how these shows come together on a weekly basis. But, senors, thank you so much for chatting with me for the last 90 minutes. It was great getting to talk with you, and let's be honest, we should have talked about Fire Emblem Three Hopes more. So I apologize.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna go play it.
Okay. I appreciate it. Everybody out there, thank you so much for listening live or after the fact. Let us know what you think of the show. Spread it around to your friends. All that stuff really, really helps. All the links for where to find us, interact with us, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, all below in the show notes. So you can check it out there if you want to find it or subscribe on YouTube for more. That really helps. But yeah, we're going to end the stream now. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.